work our way around. Another thing we're going to change today too, we're going to cut this tie off. We're taking this chain here, we're going to put it up top, because if you don't, this has a tendency of the weight of this cap to pull this lever down, and when you're filling, the hose which you're loading from, I don't know if you're a top load or a side load. Usually if you're going to black loads, you're only side load. This black will come undone and the hose can come out. So we're going to move that up here just for safety for everybody. This one, do you use a transfer at all? We're just going to leave the plastic tie on there. Leave it as is. So, just so you know how that all is. This right here is your Enviro tank. You want to make sure when you're using the Enviro fuel, I don't know how you use the Enviro tank on your other one, or you don't. Anytime you're filling or you're using this Enviro fluid, you always want to take the cap off. And don't fill this with fuel, leave it empty. You've got a drain here and a drain here. And there's also a drain under the tank. What I tell people is when they use this and they're filling, always take the T on the bottom and try to hit it at the top of the level so you can see how much the level goes. Because when you do the automatic clean out, it's going to put 5 gallons back in this tank. Now, I don't say it, but some people put it back in this big tank. It's not recommended, but some people do it. You got a radar down there, keep that clean. If not, it will have problems reading the feet per minute. And also, sometimes you get, I don't know if you've seen this, you get water in here sometimes. If you take a little drill bit on the bottom of the corner of this lens, just very carefully, like the drill bit torch cleaner, and you just barely screw it in there, that helps drain that water.
Cleaning?
Cleaning what?
Clean that lens?
I say BB blaster, not diesel, because diesel will distort that lens.
WD-40? Yes, no?
That'll work. Yeah. It's not diesel because it will distort it. Okay. Another piece right here, this exhaust. You guys are probably familiar with you guys got this DEF fluid. This tank gets about 1500, 1800 degrees. When this thing regens, that has the potential of, if you're in grass, catching it on fire. So I do not recommend doing that in the grass. Okay? I know you guys probably only just use trackless, but if you do use water-based material, make sure that top lid is open. Because if you fill it up and it's too high, well, you're going to find the lid over there somewhere across down, because it will blow the lid off. And only fill this 80%. That's it. Don't fill it up any higher than 80%. Okay? In here, most of it's gone, but there's a wrench to change the nozzles. There's a grease gun that comes with it, and high temperature grease.
In the truck.
You gotta use high temperature grease, and I'll show you the grease fins that needs to be done on. This is your rear control. So you got reverse and forward when you're running your pump. Wash down. This is for your right and left wing. You clean out, and this is your Enviro tank. So when we go to clean out, you can use fresh fuel, will be the tank on the other side, which I'll show you. And then you have the Enviro tank, which will be sucking out of this one. Usually what people do is they'll use the fresh first, and then what they'll do is it will go into the Enviro tank, and then you can probably get usually 2 cleans with that Enviro tank before you need to dump it. So you can, some people don't use it, some people do. That's what this is for. Then you got on this side the lifter bar and the left and right of the wing on there. As you know, this is a Max 3, so there is no wings. So these slide out very easily. Just a hit of the switch and it goes out. Clean out fluid here. This is where you clean out your fuel line filter. Recommend doing this daily. And you spray down one, which this button operates right here for this. This is a big help right here. Rubber mat.
It keeps the underneath of the truck I found it.
Keeps it all coming back there. It's a good idea, very good idea. Especially if you got to work underneath there. This is your lead-off valve. These 3 red knobs, 1, 2, 3, are all your automatic cleans. These go in this way direction, the valve shut off. When they turn in line, it means the valve goes on. It takes roughly 7 to 9 minutes to do an auto clean. And it uses about 4.5 to 5 gallons of fuel. Got safety chains here. Make sure you guys set them. They like them between 7 or 11 inches, but Blackledge is telling me that they like to see about 8. So you guys spray this stuff more than I do, so you guys know what works best. But just make sure these are on, so just in case the hydraulic cylinder does fail, you got something to catch that and it doesn't drag. Washdown pump. This is your gallons per minute pump with a sensor on the back. Load line. Transfer line. Thank you. Sorry, it's right there. This wire right here. A lot of times they tell you to put like a damp rag or something like that and put it in here to keep the moisture out. There's a sensor in there, bar sensor. I don't know. Yeah, you got a couple, Max?
Yes.
So it helps keep this bar sensor in here from getting moisture in there and causing erratic problems. So the NICs on this part, like you see NICs on that, so then when it goes in and out, it's coated, it doesn't shatter. Any questions so far? Am I going too fast?
Will the NECs, wait, what do you want? You can get it in various.
You can spray it on. We sell the spray cans, or you can get them at any local Loctite makes it.
Right.
Spray on, which is the easiest for you guys, or you can put a little dab on there. To me, the spray on is easier.
Yeah.
It's less messy, and it's put a cover on it.
Yeah.
When you guys do the load line, pull the screen out. Rosco recommends pulling the screen out, but does not recommend pulling the screen out on the pump. It says leave it in there. You guys do have a year warranty, so I'm just letting y'all know. But you can pull this one out because you get the balls in there and it could back up when you're loading it. So that's that. In here, you got your 2 bolts where the packing is. Sometimes you'll see the packing will start dripping. You can just do a couple turns with the wrench, 3/4 wrench, and that will allow you, which is right here, that will allow you to tighten up the packing. There's a grease fitting on this Viking pump, one on this side, one on the other side. Those need to be greased daily with high temperature grease. So, just so you guys know, make sure this thing's greased daily with high temperature grease. Any questions? In here, I kind of tell people that you don't need to be here, don't put no tools here, because this is where the computer is. The air valve's over here to shut it off. Manual overrides are over here, and your fuses are right there. These are all your +1 controllers with CAN. So it's very important when you guys are doing any wiring, goes to the battery because it will affect the CAN. These are your MAC valves, and all of it is on that label right there, what runs what. The right bar extension, the left bar extension, and the lift is all ran by them solenoids, and then these are all your 2-way valves, controls right here.
Where's your manual override again?
Manual overrides are here on the back of
How
these
does that
cylinders.
work?
Just push a little pin in, like
Right.
a lot of people just say use a little small Allen wrench, push it in, you know, one will run up and one will run down. So this would say this would be the up, that would be the down, or vice versa.
Okay.
And then here's your fuses here. If you always want to see if you have like a power issue, you can look on the side of these. There's a red and green light. Those are good indications if you got power going to these boxes here. So, just give anybody any ideas. If you have a problem loading or you think it's suspicious, there is a screen up top. 3/8 bolts. You can pull that cover off. Yep. and you pull that off, and the screen's in there. Pull it out, clean it out, put it back in. 3-way valve, 2-way valves up there. Temperature sensor. This has got 3 temperature sensors. One here, and there's 2 on the side, which I'll show you. Here's your burners, and here's where you light them. First flue's got to be 7 inches covered before you can light it, and then 14 inches for the second one. Maintenance, I don't know if you know this or not, but we recommend once a year. Pull the burner off, pull the cover off, and rotate the inner liner 1/4 of an inch once a year. Because it helps with the burning, so it lasts the liner a lot better. You get more life out of it. And then it doesn't burn the tube inside this thing, and you can have good.
So we should never see this thing smoke. It should be always a clean burn.
Sometimes it will.
It'll smoke a little in the beginning.
It will smoke a little in the beginning, but if you rotate those, it should be fine. And usually what they do is we hook a forklift to it, and we pull them out because they do get stuck in there. Another fuel filter here. Change this one by the intervals that it says in the book, and then the other one gets clean. When you're done lighting these, after you're done, let the blower run for a little bit with the fuel off so it get all the fuel out of there, so when you go to light it the next time, you don't get a big poof back on you. That's why you get that, is there's still fuel sitting in there. So, questions? Usually there's a operator's book in here. Okay, that gives you guys, in case you have any questions or anything. On the operation part back there, hasn't really changed from what you guys usually do, just the auto clean. Since you guys have plenty of them, that's basically the only thing that's changed. Hydraulic oil. You got your temperature in here and your fluid. That's your ID tag for your truck, so if you have to reference any parts, serial numbers there. The capsule gallons and the date it was manufactured. Hydraulic filter. This has a warning gauge on it, so when the filter starts to get restricted, this little white bubble will push over to the red. It's basically telling you got hydraulic problems or you got a plug filter, so this needs to be changed on every service level also. This is fresh fuel with a drain here, and a drain on the side. And this is your test port or your sample port for your DOT guy or whoever's looking for it. Yes, sir?
Off-road fuel okay in that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This right here, this is probably the best temperature right here, is this mercury one. This unscrews. There's a mercury thermometer in here. And then this one right here. This one can be adjusted. Back screw right here. You can adjust this needle to make sure it is on target where they need to be. This scale, I can tell you already, is there water in here? Yeah. Okay. So we can look at this scale right now and see if these are correct front to rear, and if they're not, we'll make sure they're right today. You can adjust these scales. Sometimes these will get hung up, so you go up top, and you can take, there's a little like full bowl bobber in there. You can pull that up, and then we'll release it. And there's also a stick in there and a basket on the top lid. Very important to keep that lid open if you guys are putting water-based stuff in there. This is the depth fluid tank. I recommend every fill up, put that fluid in there, because if that runs out, you ain't going nowhere.
Can I stress something on that?
Yep, go ahead.
I work a lot on all these engines, and the biggest thing is people aren't trained on keeping that clean. The biggest thing you can do is keep that clean. Don't go buying a bulk. If you guys don't use enough DF, don't go buy bulk DF, because it has a shelf life. It goes bad. You'll get codes, derate the truck, you'll be stuck on the side of the road. It won't do anything. And I mean, before you take that off, get a clean rag, wipe around it, make sure there's no dirt that can fall in there, because those filters are like 5-micron filters. One little piece of dirt will clog up and stop the whole system. So just I can't stress enough to keep that clean. And 77 degrees, I think it has a shelf life about 8 months. But if it gets over 85 and 90, it goes down to like 3 and then 1 month. Because it has water in it, and the water evaporates, and then all you're left with is urea. And it'll tell you, it'll get a concentration code, and it'll fail.